Hello and welcome back to the Level Up West Coast Swing podcast. Today's guest is a member of the Level Up online community, Tim Crombie from Cape Town in South Africa. How you going, Tim?
I said I'm doing really good. And how are you?
Yeah, good. Awesome. Um, it's good to catch up because we've been chatting a little bit in the forum and the community about different things, and I can see there's been a lot going on in Cape Town, and there's a number of members in the community as well online. So first of all, how is life in Cape Town?
Life, it's great. It's a beautiful day today. Gonna go wine tasting later. Um, got tons of dancing planned for next week. Uh, yeah, so Cape Town is good.
Yeah,
Um,
awesome.
I love it.
And you mentioned dancing. Do you just do West Coast swing, or do you do other forms as well?
I've done quite a few different forms over my sort of dance career. At the moment, I'm all in on West Coast swing, so I'm pretty much only dancing West Coast swing. There's a few social dances. There's a local dance called socky, which very casual, which you go out and do every now and again. And occasionally I'll go to the salsa, the SBK scene on a Sunday, join them. But I'm dancing West Coast swing almost every day now.
How do you pronounce? Is it Soki or Suki?
Yeah, somewhere in between. Socky.
Soki.
It's spelled Sokkie, and it translates to little socks, and it comes from when like the farmers that literally dance in their socks.
Ah, right.
So
Okay. Yeah, very cool. We had a member of the someone from South Africa was a member at one of our local schools, and she used to dance that. And we've got a big South African community in Perth,
uh,
all
yeah,
rugby fanatics. So whenever the Springboks come over to Perth and they play the Australians, like it's a full turnout. That they love their
yeah.
sports and the rugby. And yeah, she danced hockey, and she had such um, a really good foundation for West Coast swing actually because she did that
Uh,
dance. So
I'm
she
interested that you say that because I think it's quite proudly technique free.
yeah, yeah,
It's
probably.
just a very casual, kind of wild dance, super fun. You don't really take lessons ever for soccer, you just go.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
it's
she was one of those, just sort of, naturally sort of athletic people who kind of picked it up. So if you would lead her in turn, she would have just figured it out. But
yeah.
she was great. Yeah. So, that's cool. Tell me a little bit about the West Coast swing community in Cape Town. How long has that school been around?
So, sort of open to the public classes started at the beginning of last year, 2025.
Wow.
So we're just over a year of open classes. And before that, it had started less formally, um, for almost a year as well. Started with just a few, 5 or 6 people gathering at someone's house, trying stuff, figuring it out off YouTube, and then getting a bit more organized. And some really remarkable people with some drive and commitment built it slowly, got a team together, got a venue. That was throughout 2024. And Mersha, our chairperson, incredible person and extremely passionate about West Coast Swing, had done some traveling overseas, gone to tap, snow, and then bringing back some of this knowledge and sharing it with us, and continues to do that.
That's
Um,
amazing.
so yeah, quite a neat
So
community.
yeah. So from social media, from seeing it on YouTube, that's where they saw it first and got interested and then started to
Yeah,
learn it from YouTube. So this is so cool. Like actually social media, I don't know if you watch Benji Schwimmer's podcast, but he was talking
right.
about the pros and cons of social media and is it good for the community as a whole and raise a number of questions. But the one thing that for me as well, in a city that is very remote in Perth, we're really removed from other cities around the world. There's a 2.5 flight to the next city closest to us. Um, you know, social media for us here is like a big inspiration for us to learn and to see what's going on and then to adapt it for ourselves. So it's very cool to hear that that's kind of where you guys came from. It's like one
Yeah,
of the effects of social media that's really good for the dance and like to see because obviously there's yourself, there's Elaine who I've spoken to, um, and other people from Cape Town in the Level Up community that like are so eager to learn and want more material. So to hear that,
yeah,
um, yeah, it's
yeah.
amazing.
There's probably a team of about 7 core people that are extremely passionate, and we do all the deep dives. And now we've signed up for some of the online platforms like Tibo Nicole's platforms and
Yeah,
DanceLib, and at one point we were on Jordan Tatiana's platform. And then Mersha has gone and taken private lessons as well. So the social media was very, very important in catching people's interest, helping communicate what we're wanting to do to other people. So check this video out. It's so cool.
yeah, yeah,
Let's try and figure it out. But it does have its limitations. You very quickly realize that once you try to imitate a move that Jordan Tatiana's done, and it doesn't go well.
yeah, yeah.
It turns out it's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, yeah, it's really interesting because it's I think that's what is also what inspires us to continue to grow. It's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I really wanna do that, but something's not working. Why?" And then you have to go back and fix your connection, your weight transfers, some of your timing, like all of the things that matter and make the difference, especially in the communities like yours where it's more removed and you have less access to people just to come in and say, "Hey, fix this, fix this." Um Yeah, it makes a big difference. And I'm glad that you gave a shout out to a number of the other platforms. Like, I know Jordan and Tatiana, obviously, they've got theirs plus their routines, but they have a really big library of moves. Robert Royston does, Thibaut Nicole, Sean and Alyssa. I just seen Emily Hong just announced something as well for followers mainly, I think. There's a lot out there now, and I think that's really important for the dance and for the culture and for the understanding so that we can all learn from these different voices, which is kind of what Level Up is also trying to do, like add to that conversation and give people access to more people. Um, I just love that you say that, and also something that I saw. Is it Mercer? Is that how you say her name? Mercer?
measure.
Mercer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think she shared the Cape Town West Coast Swing Weekender on Instagram, and I saw that. So recently, that I think that just happened for you guys last month, was it?
Yeah, it's, I think 2 weeks ago now. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
still riding the high.
yeah. And so who came? Who were the pros there?
So we had Igor and Fernanda, and Harold Baker and Kristen Wallace.
Yeah, amazing. So you had the European and the US influence in one
Yeah.
place. Yeah, and did it run like were you doing workshops and a lot of social dancing? Did you do any forms of like competitions or anything like that?
So we had social dancing on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, and we had workshops throughout the day. We had time for private lessons, so I took a bunch of private lessons, as did many of the others who really filled out their schedules. We didn't have a competition. We're not quite ready for a competition, but we did have a spotlight, very informal spotlight where we had an opportunity to dance in front of peers, and Harold and Kristen gave us some critique. We danced for maybe a minute and then get some feedback, and then dance again and get some more feedback. And
Yeah.
that was quite, yeah, it's quite nerve wracking, but very valuable.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's so good to actually not only experience it as a dancer, like to be in front of people and be judged essentially, but also for the feedback to hit and land on you yourself, but for the rest of the community to also see it and understand it and grow from it as well. Like what a amazing experience.
Yeah, it really was.
So before we get onto your own dancing, because I've got some questions about your dancing, was there anything from the event that you kind of took away that kind of stands out in your mind as like, oh, this was kind of a really good learning moment for either yourself or for the community that you kind of all felt like, oh, this is something that's going to help us really progress?
Well, I think for many of us it was humbling. I mean, we tried to figure out all these complicated YouTube combinations, and then the message from the internationals was really let's focus on connection and timing, and let's just iron that out. So I think the main takeaways from the weekend was um, let's get our fundamentals bit more crisp. So
Yep.
that as a community, we're kind of focusing on that. Especially a lot of people really resonated with some of the connection workshops, and I love some of the movements from Igor and Fernanda. So it was interesting. People took Some people preferred some of the teachers more than others, and I suppose it depends a bit on your learning style. So it was really nice that each of the teachers had quite different approaches. So everyone was able to take away something that they resonated with.
Yeah, amazing. You mentioned you had some privates as well. Who did you have private lessons with?
All of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's a rare opportunity to get privates, so
Yeah.
I made the most of it. And really great. Igor, Fernanda, Kristen, and Harold all had extremely valuable things for me to focus on.
Yeah, amazing. That's so cool. I'm like really excited by this because like I'm just about to head to Asia Open. Same thing. I've got a couple of private lessons booked, all the workshops, everything. Those kind of moments where you get to hang out and meet the pros, and I'm actually getting a chance to catch up with Sammy and Maria just before the event as well, just us, and so to chat and to go through things. So yeah, very cool, very exciting. I wanted to ask you a few things. I'm going to segue. Actually, I want to do a shout out to a bunch of pros and all stars. Uh, just quickly, Tim. I want to just while I've got you here, and just based on what you've said, I kind of want to encourage the pros and people whose dance is their livelihood. And I understand that everything always goes through a paywall wall, especially if it's your livelihood and if it's your business. But I do want to give a shout out to more pros to keep sharing, because there's a lot of people who are introduced to the dance, and they will learn so much from you if you give some content out. Obviously still do your membership platforms and all that sort of stuff. They're essential as well, I understand. But for me, like I say this to Semyon and Maria all the time, they would share so much when they were in Russia and dancing at Avara, um, and that I learned so much from them over a couple of years. And they didn't receive anything from it other than a few nice comments from me on social media. But when I had the opportunity, I actually booked them to do a pro-am routine for me, and so they did the choreography for that. And then I ended up asking Semyon to do some private lessons online because I'd learnt from him for free for 2 years. And then I ended up asking to do that, and then I said to him, "Would you kind of act as my coach if I can touch base with you, like, once a month or something like that? Would you be interested in coaching?" So I pay him as a coach now, and this is all because he gave some stuff away for free. But because, like you, Tim, I'm passionate about the dance and I wanna grow, part of being, influenced by people is that you build an affinity with them, and if you like them, whatever they're putting out and you consume it, you're more likely to ultimately hire them for business. Um, so that's a quick shout out to a few of the pros and things like that. Um, We really appreciate you, and we know you work hard, and it's a tough gig physically. It's demanding and all the rest, and so they need to be paid for what they do. I understand, but the more that they can give, and the more we can see communities like Cape Town just come alive and all of a sudden start and then begin to hire pros to come and they're growing the community and the dance we love. I think it's amazing. Um, Coming back to you, Tim, really quickly. When did you start West Coast Swing? So did you start in the early group a couple of years ago in the small group before the actual school opened?
So my first sort of taste of West Coast swing was probably around 2014. I was involved in other kinds of dancing, more kind of like modern jive type dancing. We had I was doing a lot of salsa, teaching of the salsa and ballroom at that point, and I was looking for content to teach and came across some really cool videos on YouTube and tried to adapt some of the moves. And that was some of Jordan and Tatiana's moves. And I imported their DVDs. Um, and me and my dance partner at the time, we each had a sort of weekly West Coast swing session, and eventually taught it a little bit at my little dance school. But it never kind of reached a critical mass. We couldn't get a community together. So and then didn't really dance West Coast swing for a long time. And then I found out that Cape Town had a little group of 5, and I wasn't part of that original 5. I joined a few months later, but immediately got very stuck in.
Yeah, super cool. Um, in your dance life so far, in what you've been doing since you reconnected with West Coast Swing and you've started to dance, has there been anything that's kind of like stuck out as like an aha moment to you that you've sort of said, this kind of changed the way that you dance or like took your dancing to the next level?
Yeah, definitely. I suppose the 0 to 1 thing was getting the DVDs, but then definitely dancing regularly in a community. You just can't replace that. You can watch a million hours on YouTube. It's not going to replace actually dancing.
There's no
And then
substitute for time on the
yeah,
dance floor. Like it just,
yeah,
whether it's solo or with a partner, you just, you need time on the floor. Yeah.
yeah. And then our group is, it's quite a diverse set of opinions, and I've really learned a lot from hearing other points of view, not realizing how different people's approaches to West Coast swing is. So having regular discussions in our sort of core team has been extremely helpful. Then starting with just a set practice partner has been helpful. And then I would say a major one, we've had 2 big events, this weekender, and then we had a smaller one last year, which are kind of stepping up opportunities. Just the excitement around it and the focus.
Yeah.
Obviously, the actual content is very helpful, but I think having a goal to work towards, just something to direct your energy towards, is probably even more valuable. And even though we don't have competitions, I think it is important to have just something to work towards. So those have been helpful. I think a big moment for me was actually on Level Up, where you asked for video reviews, because I was extremely, or you offered
Yeah.
video reviews. I was extremely resistant to videoing myself. I find it extremely, sometimes discouraging to watch myself in video.
Right. Yeah.
And so I've been avoiding that, and that opportunity was really great. The quality of feedback I got was extremely helpful, and it kind of helped me get through that block. And now I video myself all the time, and
That's amazing.
now I'm seeing improvements.
Can I
Much
just
faster
say
than
well
before.
done for doing it because
No,
a lot of people feel that same resistance. And I'm glad you said this because I hear this regularly. Like it's common I think, in every single community, even to the point where I'll video someone, they'll ask me to video them, I'll video it, I'll say, do you want to watch it together? And we'll look at it. and they'll be sitting there just going, "Oh, I hate this. I can't watch this." Like, and they don't like it. Um, but getting over that hump is really important, and I think even actually when you posted a dance with your training partner at the time, I don't know if you're still training
Yeah.
together, but
Elaine.
with Elaine, yeah. First of all, it was such a cool dance from me to look at it, to see two people in partnership enjoying the dance. Like, I don't care if you've got a straight leg or bent knee, like what pat, like I don't care. The thing that I love is like just seeing you guys love what you're doing. And then, because
Oh,
everything will come
yeah.
if you love it and you keep doing it, you'll improve, right? So I wouldn't be hard on yourself at all, and I would just say, like, from me to look at this and say, man, from someone who's, did a dabbled a little bit, like 10 years ago, but then like just sort of recommitted, a year or so ago, to be doing what you guys are doing is so impressive. Like, to me, it's like it's yeah, it's a real
Thanks,
buzz.
Steve.
It's a real buzz to
Really,
see.
really appreciate it. And thanks for this opportunity with Level Up. It's really been extremely helpful, and many of us in Cape Town are extremely grateful for everything you're doing with Level Up. And
I
one
appreciate
thing
that, and
on
I
the
know
video,
what it's like to be in those shoes. Can I just say
yeah,
too, if things go well in Singapore, we'll go to the next level, and I think you guys are gonna love it. But I
yeah,
won't give away
cool.
too
I'm
much.
excited.
Yeah, but there's some cool things uh, simmering in the background. So, yeah, I'm excited about that too.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, one thing that I didn't expect out of the videos was to see people's the comments and just saying thanks for posting. This has been really helpful for me too. So
Yeah,
for me, that was encouraging. Like I can help people by showing me in my beginner state making tons of mistakes, but other people can relate to that. So it made me less fearful about sort of putting myself out there because people appreciate it. I don't, you don't need to be a champion to
yeah.
get a video review. So that was really really cool.
And there's so many things because you've done so many different dance styles as well, and you've been a dancer for so long. There's things that you can bring, like tools and techniques that you can bring into the West Coast swing community that's going to be able to help others. And so, no matter where we're at, I think there's always someone who you have a little bit more experience or a little bit more knowledge or a little bit more skill than they do. And they just need that little bit of encouragement. And often I think people are scared to ask, or they don't know even what to ask. I hear that quite often where we have a social dance, and I have a rule in my own head where when I social dance, I do not critique at all. I'm just in the moment enjoying the dance. And then often after the dance, someone will say, "Hey, do you have any feedback?" I'm like, "I don't, because I wasn't wearing that hat. But if you would like to, we can have another dance, and I can think about it." Um, but
I really
again,
love
that's
that.
what yeah, it's the benefit of having a good community who are open to talk and to help. And I think if you've got the spirit of saying, and this is one thing that I love about Cape Town, because you're not competitive at the moment, no one there is competing. You don't have that friction between the people who want to compete and the people who don't. You don't have the thing of I'm this level and you're this level and whatever. Which none of that matters. If I'm being purely honest, in my own opinion, I don't care what level people are at. Like, it doesn't matter. It matters if in their dance, if they're with me as a partner and we enjoy it. Like, that's what matters. Um,
Yeah.
the yeah, but if you do that locally, like you even said, like where, for example, where Harold and Kristen gave some critique of like two of you getting up and dancing, the whole community develops as a result.
Yeah.
And that can happen locally. It can happen online in the community, like within the Level Up system. And then, but also just in general, like when I see pros and they say, oh man, I did this, but I was thinking this and didn't really work. Um, to hear it from them And I'll give Sean McKeever a shout out on this. I was because I was a member of their community for a while, and in one of the live streams, he talked about a video review of himself, and he drew Maria Elizarova. And he said when he watched back the video, he was critiquing himself and saying, "See in this spot here, I'm not doing anything with one of my free arm," and he it bothered him. And he thought, "What can I do?" And then he thought, "Well, I should just watch Semyon because he's always doing something great with that free arm." And so then he took that away, and, like, to hear a champion of champions say that he's still learning and looking for things and then growing, um, that's the power of the video review, whether we do it ourselves or we get someone else. But to hear the community actually share that as well, yeah, I think it's really valuable. Um I wanted to ask you personally what you're doing, how you train. Like you've got a training partner, but you train solo as well. And like, how do you train? Like, what do you prioritize? And
Um, yeah, so I'm quite systematic. So I when I receive feedback, I make notes and I have a list. So when I go into a session, I usually have a mission related to that list of feedback that I've gotten either from privates or from a video review. So now I've got quite a long list.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, I kind
So
of
that long list
try
is
to
why I
attack
asked
that
this
list.
question. That long list is why I asked this question because all of us, every single one of us has a very long list.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and the difficulty is saying, what do we work on and how do we work on it?
Yeah. So for me, getting the privates was quite helpful with that because there were a couple of common points of feedback that across all the instructors for me. Just really cleaning up my timing, especially when I go slightly out of the very basic fundamental moves. I tend to put all my focus on either lead or my head goes somewhere else, and then I look at my feet and not quite clean timing. So that was helpful. And then for me, releasing tension from my upper body is going to be a lifelong goal.
Yeah.
Also, having done tons of salsa, lots of arm leading, there's some to really get a good body lead is something that I'm working on a lot at the moment. I know that's
Did you
also
get
something you would have to work on forever.
did you get advice on what you could do to drill that? Or did you just get told this is the mechanics that you need to be using, and are you figuring out how to do it yourself?
So we've got a couple of good drills. Kristen walked me through a couple of drills. One of them to start off with, just leave out triples, just dance on even counts for every move, do whips and everything purely on the beat. Then she made me dance everything in triples, which was a little bit chaotic because the steps don't move work out like they used to. But the idea is just to get really grounded in the timing, and use that as your sort of basis from which you move, rather than getting caught up in all the complicated movements. And I think I might have got a bit overwhelmed with all the different feedback and tried to do too many things at once, and the result is not getting the basic timing right.
Yeah.
That's not my basic timing is, I'm not going to lead off on a two or something like that, but just having that clean, grounded movement is helpful. So yeah, to get some drills and some specific focus points, but mostly just get on board with the booms and ticks, the ones and twos, downs and ups, the boots and cats, which we use quite a lot, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, cool. I literally just put Maria and Eric, Maria Bilichik and Eric Byers just did a dance to Boots and Cats, the lyrical version. I just
Oh
put
yeah,
that up on YouTube. Yeah,
yeah,
they're
so,
very cool. They used it in their workshops for the Level Up community, both the blues one and the hip hop version of that. I was
yeah.
going to say
We find it
something that helped.
helpful.
Yeah, cool. Something that helped me a lot with getting rid of the tension in my body, my upper body, and the arm leading. The thing that I did that I didn't realize was helping me at the time, but I know now it's what made a big difference. Do you know what a TheraBand is?
Yeah,
Like a elastic kind of band. Um,
yeah,
I would do footwork drills, just doing point ball changes and leading patterns, but holding the TheraBand attached to a door, like my sliding door handle, so it was fixed. And then I would just focus on keeping my hand in the same spot while I'm doing this footwork. And one of the local teachers told me that when I'm going to try to put my hand in the camera view. When I'm holding my hand here, is that feel the connection go up and around to my opposite side. So as I kind of turn like this, I'm trying to feel the tension and connection go through to this side of my body. Or if I'm holding two hands like this, I'm trying to link it like a circuit so that I feel my muscles engaging all the way around. But when you do it with a TheraBand, the idea is that you're using the least amount of effort to do it. So to hold that TheraBand while you're in stretch and while you're moving, but you're like barely using any muscles. But what you're doing is you're using a little bit of the muscles all the way through the connection rather than isolating in your bicep or something like that or your tricep. And just by doing that and moving around, and I would do these drills, you know, 5 or 10 minutes a day, probably for a year. But it got rid of all the tension and everything relaxed, and it's more ooey gooey, right? For the connection, and you're more elastic in the way that you move. And then when you're moving and you actually move, your arm is more elastic and you're moving with your body and leading with your body rather than your arms. But if you just try that, that might help and you might experience the feeling of it. It changes because I
I'll
did,
definitely try it.
yeah, I
Yeah,
did
that sounds.
salsa as
Thanks for
well.
the tip.
Yeah, I did salsa as well, and it was very army, and so
Yeah,
it's quite different. Um, yeah, that might help. Um,
thanks.
In terms of timing, did they talk to you about critical timing as well, or was it mainly just like on the strike, or how did they explain that?
Um, so it was interesting to hear the different teachers' approach. It wasn't always exactly the same idea. The critical timing, that phrase didn't come up. I mean, I know about it. I've seen videos and read some articles on critical timing. What did come up was pulse. So that's feedback I've heard from you before. And so one of the things I'm missing is getting that pulse going nicely. Um, I sometimes rush out of my even beats, or I slap onto a two beat or a four beat, and almost fall into a triple or panic into a triple,
Yeah.
rather than getting that pulse. So yeah, for now that's where my focus is, and you gave me some very helpful feedback and a video kind of showing the pulse and the strike, the delayed weight transfer, um, and so that's been helpful and something I'm still working on. It's I'm finding it harder than I thought to actually implement. It's in my head, but it's clearly not in my body yet.
Yeah. If you do that slowly with no music, I feel like that's the best way to learn it because it kind
Nice.
of you want to change the way you step and strike and then move your weight, like the timing. So I wouldn't even do it in time. I would just do a strike. Say, let's say for the one, I would shift my left foot back, strike the floor, and then slowly ease back my weight till it was fully over the left foot. And then I would strike the floor with my right foot and then ease back. And by doing that painfully slowly, it develops the whole system of, oh, yeah, my leg needs to go before I fully go, sort of thing. And it just
Nice.
changes the way you feel it. And once you start doing it through the triples, same thing, just really slow. but you're placing your foot before you're moving there. Um, so you're controlling the movement, and that's what I think that's what Jordan and Tatiana were talking about at Revitalize. They were talking about how West Coast swing is a smooth dance, and having the control is like something that they look for when they watch people dance. They see that smooth control between the weight transfer, and the only way to do it, I think, is by starting slowly and then ultimately doing it to music later.
Right.
Yeah, but very cool. That's so cool to hear that you're actually working on all the techniquey stuff, but the techniquey stuff is like what goes hand in hand with having great dancers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of pendulum between going all in on fun moves and just dancing for the joy of it, and then swinging back to technique. And I kind of need to do that, and I'll almost be deliberate about, okay, this month is a dancey movie month versus, okay, let's have a relook at the technique and the fundamentals.
Yeah, you got to do the fun stuff. You got to do the fun stuff.
Yeah.
You mentioned you've had a look at DanceLib. Are there any couples? I love DanceLib personally, and I've spoken to the CEO, Young Whittler, and also Max Ons, who's the ambassador for the West Coast Swing side of DanceLib. They're very passionate about like sharing this and like helping people. Are there any couples that you've watched that you kind of like, oh, I want to like emulate that or learn from them? Or you kind of doing a shotgun approach and just finding moves and
So mostly when I have been using DanceLib, it's because I've been looking for the next moves. So I'll type in beginner and it'll filter out from beginner, and then I'll scroll through and see which moves might be the next thing on my repertoire list. But there are a few couples that stand out. Like, I really like Max Ans's dancing.
me too.
So I would single Max Ans out. I also Maxime and Tori.
Yeah.
The technique is so great and clear. So sometimes when I'm like, how does that hip catch weight transfer work? I'll go and look at a video of them doing that.
Yeah, that's very cool. I kind of cycle between the partners and like go, let's learn some Max Onsi stuff and Virginia, and then because the way that they utilize connection and acceleration is different to the others. Um, if you're doing like looking specifically at the beginner content, for example, Jakub and Emmeline, what I class as beginner content, I've watched their beginner content and I'm learning it now because I'm like, oh, I don't do this normally because I didn't learn it years ago. But it kind of is elementary, like the way they change hands and do different movements. I can see that through their dance, but they teach that as beginners. And there's something that I did this with Zach Skinner. Shout out to Zach, who's our first Aussie homegrown champion. Recently, he just reached champion level. He's a great guy, and he gave me these drills of something to do, and he said, "Right, I'm going to lead me in a left side pass, but then stop on the 4." And then he said, "I want you to change something." And so I did this hand change that I'd learned from a Jakub sugar push from DanceLib. I did this hand change, and then we ended up in this weird spot where I had his hand on my hip. So then I did a scroll past him, kind of like a tally mark, and like wrapped him around me. And he's like, "That was cool, dude." And I'm like, it's like, have you learned that pattern before? I'm like, no, that's like part DanceLib, part this. And but it came from Jakub and Emmeline's basics, like or beginners, I should say, of this hand change off a sugar push, which is just creative and it's typical of Jakub and Emmeline. Yeah, very cool.
And they've been huge inspirations for many of the dancers in our community. You ask half of them, they'll say Jakub and Emmeline are the ones that they really admire.
I literally had a
so
business
cool to
meeting.
See them on DanceLib or something, and see them do moves that are accessible that I could do. if I
Yeah,
put some
it's
time
very
into
cool.
it.
I literally had a business meeting the other day and last week, and there was a new marketing manager in this company, and so I had a meeting with him, and I mentioned I was going to Singapore, so I won't be able to do some work for a week. Uh, and then he said, "What are you going for?" I said, "For a West Coast Swing event." He said, "I've seen that." And he said, "I watched someone dancing to the Macarena." And I'm like, "Oh, that's Jordan and Emmeline." And I said, "I'm actually having a lesson with Emmeline." It's like, "What?" Yeah.
Uh,
And it's like, I get, and I said, "Do you dance?" He said, "No, no, but I've seen that." And he said, "I've seen a bunch of others because I watched it." I'm like, this is like, yeah, I love it when that sort of stuff happens.
yeah, that's so cool.
Do you challenge yourself in DanceLib to take the higher level stuff? Like, do you go, "Oh, I'm gonna have a look at some advanced ones and see if I can push myself," or let's go even higher and do the expert level?
So, so no, because I have a tendency to do that too much. Uh, I'm a bit of a move monster, and I have. There was that meme about doing champion level moves and novice, guilty as
Yeah,
charged.
yeah. Everyone's tried it. Yeah,
And super fun, but also realize that it's not where my focus should be if I want to improve my West Coast swing. I can do crazy moves in other dance styles. I've got a huge salsa repertoire, and
yeah,
I can do all the crazy things there. And I really want to get to the point where I can do those sorts of things in West Coast swing with the West Coast swing technique, because it just hits different when you do it with proper momentum and weight transfer.
yeah,
So I've gone through the process of imitating some of those high level moves and felt unsatisfied. It's like, oh, it just doesn't feel that cool, doesn't look nearly as cool. And then you look deeper and it's actually doing, there's a lot of technique that's maybe not obvious when you first look at the video, especially with how they manage each other's weight and the counterbalance for those higher level moves. The counterbalance is everywhere, and if you don't have some of the basic connection ideas right in place, then that's not going to go too well. So
I I'm gonna
I'm
send
focusing
you,
on the basics.
yeah, I'm gonna send you a Maxence and Virginie move that I learned at the end of last year, and it's you're sharing the weight through the movement, right? And the follower actually helps you rotate as a leader. It's not a tally mark, it's from a whip, right? But
Oh,
you basically give them a different point of connection and they whip around and they take you with it. It's so cool. The feeling is
that
awesome.
sounds so fun.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing that I think, when you do some of these movements and you go, "Oh, I just did the pattern," you can kind of feel, "I just did the pattern." And it doesn't work if you do it with other people because they don't know the pattern. But if you've got a training partner, like if you're training with Elaine, for example, and you say, "Hey, let's learn this and let's figure out what's happening in the connection to make it feel amazing." And like, so it's proper lead follow and like partnership. It's those moments
Yeah,
that I think transform because then you can go, "Oh, now I understand why this worked and why it wasn't working before." I think that's the fun stuff that I like to do. And then if you do get the chance to have champions and pros come to Cape Town or you go to an event, you can ask those questions like, "Why is this not working?" What's happening, sort of thing. I literally
yeah,
did that with Exxon's last year at Asia Open. So, "See this? I'm doing this. Like, what's happening?" And and he showed me. And then there's this one little trick, and I'm like, "Damn, that was the difference." But you couldn't see it on the video. Um,
right, right.
yeah, it's very
Yeah.
cool. Um, is there anything that the greater West Coast swing community could do you think, to help West Coast swing in Cape Town?
Well, firstly, come to Cape Town. We love having visitors, and we've had a few people, and we like to look after them, give them royal treatment,
Yeah.
and it's a really lovely community we have here. So please come and visit. We'll take you sightseeing, and um, But I think I'll echo what you said about being generous with content. That the content that we've paid for has been mostly because we're already familiar with the workshops and tutorials that we've seen online for free. So it might be counterintuitive that giving away content for free is actually a good business decision. But I think in West Coast Swing and dancing, actually, the more generous you are with giving content, the more likely you are to get people sign up for the paid content and hire for events and so. But yeah, I think that's the main thing. And if you want to come visit South Africa, it's a really great place to visit. I think everyone who's visited has had a great time. So just
I think
encourage everyone who's
Fernanda
been on the
just
fence.
shared I think Fernanda just shared some safari she was on,
Yeah,
like with elephants and like
yeah,
giraffes. I think it was a rhino or something. Lions, like very cool. How close is that to you guys? Like to get to a safari from, say, where your school is?
yeah. So unfortunately, it's on the opposite end of the country.
Right,
Um,
right.
and when Cape Town has got 1,000 things on offer. It's got the mountain, it's got the sea, it's got wildlife, penguins, vineyards, it's got
It's got great
fancy
fishing too,
restaurants.
doesn't it?
And sorry,
It's got great fishing there too, I think.
yeah, it's got great fishing.
Yeah.
You can go shark cave diving. Want to go in?
Damn.
But we don't have safaris. We've got one safari which just doesn't compare to the ones closer to Johannesburg. You really want to go to that side of the country for the proper safaris. So if you're going to come to South Africa, do a safari and near Joburg, either Kruger or Aquila or one of the other nature reserves there. We have
Yeah.
Aquila, which is a reserve here, which is okay, but do it properly, go to Kruger, and come to Cape Town, come dance with us. There is a small and growing dance community in Johannesburg. Um, Alyssa at 5678 doing a great job, but it's not quite as established as Cape Town.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. Is there anything else you wanted to chat about today? We're sort of getting to that time of getting ready to wrap up, but yeah, do you have any other things that you wanted to add or ask or shout out?
Well, I just say a major thank you to you, Steve. It's been really cool to be on this podcast, and also it kind of feels like we have a community. Like I'm getting to know people on Level Up,
Yeah,
and you know, I feel like I know you quite well personally now, and I really hope to meet you in person. It's so cool that people are meeting up at some of the events. I think
yeah,
having that sense of community in is really awesome. It's like a remote dance studio. You have a lot of us. So many people don't have big dance communities, and through Level Up, we kind of have the sense of a dance community. And I think, yeah. So thanks for that. That's the main thing I want to
yeah.
say.
You're
And
welcome, and I'm glad that's how it's working out. I feel like there's a lot more coming, but I want to have more frequent like community chats and just hangouts more often because I think people um, do exactly that. They connect with each other, and you end up like cheering each other on. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's what it feels like to me. Like even if I share something and stuff, and I just again I put videos up for review or whatever it is, and people comment and they're like, "Oh yeah, pay attention to this and look at that." We're all growing. We're all part of the community, and we all love to dance, and so like we've got
yeah,
that common interest and yeah, having that kind of spirit where we're the community. Um, yeah, it's really cool. I think I could talk West Coast swing stuff all day. Like
yeah,
I just love it and I want to learn. Um, yeah, so I'm looking forward to this hangout tomorrow with Maria. I hope if you can make it, it'd be great. Might be a little bit early for you.
Yeah, I think I'll be fast asleep, I'm afraid.
Yeah, yeah. I think it is in your time zone. She's in the US. That's one of the other challenges that we're trying to overcome is like, we've got a lot of people from Europe, for example, and they're on a time clock. A lot of people in the Asia Pacific, and then a lot of people in the US and Canada. And it's like, how do we connect the time zones or like make something special for each community so that we can grow? And like you say, I would love to be able to catch you on a dance floor one day and just, By the way, that's something that I wanted to ask you. Do you follow? Have you started following?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I love following.
Yeah.
I feel too much. We need more leads in our community. So I obviously mostly lead, but every now and again we happen to have a few extra leads, and then I'll happily follow.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool. You your training partner is Elaine, right?
yeah, it's not fixed. I wouldn't.
Or one of them. Yeah.
That sounds very official, but we meet once a week, and I meet with a few other people and do one-on-one sessions with them. But
Okay.
Elaine is the one that we're working with the longest, and we submit videos together.
Yeah, do the videos for the review. Does she lead?
She's just learning to lead now.
Yeah. One of the things that I've found really helpful is when if you have a training partner is that you switch roles
Ah,
and do the same thing you're working on, but wearing the other hat. Because there's so many
right.
times I'm like, this is how I'm supposed to do it. This is how I'm supposed to do it. And they're figuring out this is how they're supposed to do it. And they go, let's change it. So then now we can, number one, you end up appreciating what each other is trying to do. But then you also understand if they're not doing it, maybe I was doing that. This is what needs to happen. And like it's kind of helpful, makes a difference and helps you understand what
Yeah,
what the other person's feeling or hearing or the sense of what they're getting. I've only just started sort of adding more of that into my practice sessions, and
right.
yeah, it's been really helpful.
Okay.
Like you, we have a shortage of leaders, and so if I go and follow in a class, there's the other followers that are like, "Why aren't you leading?" so, so yeah, and yeah, it's just fair enough. It's one of the challenges of a smaller community.
Yeah, yeah, that's super fun to follow.
Yeah. Tim, it's been awesome to catch up and to chat and to understand a little bit more about what's going on in Cape Town. I wish you guys all the best there. I think everything that I hear and the stuff that I see on social media and within Level Up is like that. It's got all the ingredients of what you want in a West Coast swing community. It's just really cool to see it, and I hope it goes really well for you guys. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to meet each other in person sometime and yeah,
I'm
catch up.
sure we will. I'm planning to do
Very
some
cool.
traveling. I'm going to be in Europe in the middle of the year, go to Westy on the Promenade and a few other events. And
I'm so jealous. That's the one that I want to get to. Wesley on the Promenade. That's Max Lance's event. That's I don't think they have competitions. I think it's just full workshops. Actually, Brian Muthian, who's in the Level Up community, he went there to the last one, and I said, "What was it like?" He said, "Steve, I'm pretty fit." He's pretty young as well, and he said, but even on the last day, he said, "I was so sore and so exhausted," but he just said it was incredible. Yeah, really
amazing.
cool.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
So are you going this year to the West on the Promenade?
Yeah, yeah,
Dude, we gotta see if we can hook you up with Maxon. So I'm sure he's probably super busy at that event, but it'd be cool
yeah,
if we could do that. And in
yeah.
fact, Sammy
Very
and
cool.
Maria will be there, I'm sure.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'll let
Yeah.
you know. I'll send you some info.
Thanks, Steve. And thanks so
Yeah.
much for having me on. It's been really cool to talk to you. And
Yeah, it's great to catch up
yeah,
and chat. Yeah, I
and
appreciate
thanks
I
again for
appreciate you
everything
making the time.
with Level Up.
Yeah, awesome, dude. Thanks very
Yeah,
much. I
thanks,
will
Steve.
finish this
All
recording
right.
now, and yeah, we'll see you in the community.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve.
Cheers.